Hello and welcome to the podcast, where we are here to strengthen music careers and communities one song at a time. And now here's your host, Jacob Wing. Yay!
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. Incredibly lucky. We had somebody travel down just to talk to us, and we are very, very lucky. Mr. Rob Wolf, thank you so much for making the trek to come and see us.
Of course, yeah.
You have been blowing up in the last 2 years, just really taking off. And I have been following you. A lot of people have been following you, obviously. But there's not a ton about your backstory. We'd love to hear some if we could.
Yeah.
So first thing I know about you is that you were born in Livingston. Is that correct?
From Livingston.
From Livingston.
Yeah,
okay. So where were you born?
From Bozeman originally.
Okay.
And then moved to Livingston in 2017 or 18.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I call Livingston kind of like my home. You know,
Gotcha.
it's kind of where I've always felt at home.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So did music start early in your life, or was that a later?
Yeah. No. I mean, I've always sang, right? And me and my sister are both singers, and we'd always sing together. And I'd sing a lot of Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, just because I had a high little voice when I was younger.
That explains a lot.
And
okay.
And yeah, so I've always singing. I always knew I kind of wanted to sing, but I also played a lot of baseball as well. So I was gonna pitch in college.
Okay.
That was kind of my goal, you know. And it wasn't until I was on a pretty serious travel team for scouting. I was in Denver, Colorado. I always remember, and I pitched that day and did good. So if you pitch good, obviously you're having a good time.
Right.
And then that night, it was me, my buddy, and my dad. My buddy was like, dude, we're 18 at the time, so he's like, dude, let's go down to a karaoke bar, go sing the night away, right? Because he's always wanted to see me sing. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we find a hole in the wall place that we can go to and get in there and start singing. And maybe 20 people in there, and I sang Much Too Young and Hallelujah. And, you know, it was getting the time where I needed to decide what to do with, you know, music or baseball. What do you want to do? So my dad came up to me right after we were done and asked, he was like, hey, like, what was your, you know, experience? Like, did you like it better singing or pitching? And I was like, honestly, I had more fun singing in front of those 20 people. He was like, wow, well, there's your decision.
Really,
just
like, from your dad giving you that?
Yeah, you know, it just kind of
moments.
opened my eyes. You know, I was like, yeah, no, it's true. Okay.
That's crazy.
So from there, yeah, and then, you know, I played the rest of that tournament, but, you know, stopped doing the traveling team and had a fun rest of the baseball season and went to Nashville that summer. So
wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch upon that. I've always, like, you have this tenor voice that's just beautiful, but there's a soulful in it, like some soulful feeling behind it. And now that you mentioned that, you know, you started out early with your sister with, you know, Jackson 5, that explains a lot of where that kind of came into.
Yeah, no,
that tiny
yeah.
bit of influence.
It's funny, yeah, because, you know, like most country songs are pretty low and you know, you can sing them high, but I listen to it. Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a lot of Garth Brooks, John Denver, get a lot of John Denver feel, you know, Brooks and Dunn, and back to Hank and Johnny Cash and stuff. But yeah, you know, but I'd always sing "Oh Hi." Rockin' Robin was my go-to, you know.
That's a great song.
Yeah, but yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I know that when you finally started to do your recording, I think your first release was in August of 21, 22?
21.
21, and
yeah.
was Home, is that right?
Yep, it was Home.
So what was that like, taking that first step and getting into the studio for the first time? What was like that transition? How was that?
Yeah, it was cool. You know, it took a little bit to find, you know, the right producer for me. My producer now is Tyler Kane with Bolt Studios, and he's amazing.
Clearly.
He's really amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so he knew what I wanted. He knew the sound I wanted, and got legendary musicians still to this day to play on my tracks. Legends like Bruce Boughton. He's played a lot of steel for like starting off with Ricky Skaggs and then Reba, and toured a lot with Garth Brooks.
Yeah, that's
he's
a
legend.
Wow, I did
and
not
then
know that.
Janae Fleener, she just got announced Musician of the Year last year. So she's on the road with George Strait right now. So just amazing musicians.
Just a few
you know, I give.
Oh my gosh,
I just sing. I give all the props to them. But yeah, you know. So but yeah, going into the studio was cool. You know, it's cool to have this song that you've been holding on to for a year, I think it was, and kind of watching it come to life. And you know, then the whole process of, you know, getting it released, and then to the release date was like, okay, it's kind of dip my foot in the water. It's like, okay, I'm in the game now.
Right,
I'm in it for the long run.
All in now.
But yeah, no, it was great. It's a cool experience. Still to this day, I still get just excited recording songs.
Was there any big change? Like now you've got about 10 releases or so under your belt. Has there been any big changes in your process, from songwriting to recording that have come or that you've learned over that time?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned to take my time. Number one, just because I write a song doesn't mean I need to release it. And I've kind of got that more recently, figured that out. I've been co-writing with a lot more people now. Because before I was kind of selfish and I was like, oh, I'm from Montana. Nobody can write about Montana.
We're all taught that as early musicians, yeah.
Yeah, but
the best music comes from collaboration.
Exactly. Yep. And so I've been writing with a lot of hit artists and hit songwriters and producing really good songs, and coming up with the good songs and trying to just find that niche, of singing about Montana and the mountains. And I kind of have this ongoing theme called Western romance.
Yeah,
and that can go into anything. It can go into talking about mountains or love or whatever, anything like that.
Basically, just like any from a love of life, love of outdoors, love of where you're at, all those kind of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Yep. It really shows in the music. Do you have a favorite or like a songs that really exemplify? If you were to say, "Hey, take a listen," what would be the first thing you would tell somebody? Take a listen to this song first.
Oh, one of my songs. That's tough.
It is.
Like,
it's
what child?
Pick your favorite child right now.
Man, I love the song "Banks of the Yellowstone."
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good song that kind of exemplifies like where I'm from, and how I grew up, and it's I kind of wrote it when I was in Nashville. I got super homesick, and I'm a mama's boy, obviously, so. I was kind of telling my mom, I was like, hey, don't worry, like I'm coming home, and so I wrote that song. And it's a good example of who I am and, where I came from.
Good choice. And everything, we of course have all his links, everything down below. Go take a listen. If that's your first time listening, take a listen to that one. If not, just put it on repeat. Everything's wonderful. Yeah. So perfect. Up and coming here, I know you just had a release. It was what was the latest one that just came out?
Over Drinking.
Yeah,
that's a fun one.
That's a great one. And then you should have one coming up soon. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I decided to cover Zach Bryan's Something in the Orange.
Oh boy.
Yep. And it's a fun one. It's really cool. It's different from the original version. The original version is very stripped back. Some production, right? But I have a lot of steel, a lot of fiddle. Big drums in there, so it's a cool version. I think you should like it, But that's coming out June 24th.
June 24th.
Mark the calendars.
You're really great at, slipping in those teasers, those promotions on your socials. Mm-hmm. Be sure to follow them on the socials.
Yeah.
We will have down below, of course, if it's released by that date, we'll have the link directly to it, or we'll have the pre-save. Make sure that always helps out. Go get that pre-save.
Yep.
What else have you got going on here in the near future? Anything exciting coming up for you?
Getting in the summer here, so lots of touring around, singing and stuff.
It's the busy season.
It's busy season. Yep. And we got more songs coming out. I try to keep on a 6-week basis for songs to be released. So we got some really, really good songs coming out.
Oh boy.
I'm only, I always say just one's better, they're all good, obviously, but being a songwriter, it's like, no, this is the best song now I've written, right? The next song I'm write will always be, in my opinion, the best song, right? But no, it's really, really good songs coming out this summer, and stay tuned for that. And yeah. Well,
that is exciting. You were also kind enough, he's going to play a song for us, so be sure you're following and subscribe, all that good stuff. Yes. What song are you going to perform for us this time?
I don't know.
Oh boy! So then you really got to subscribe and follow just to figure out what he plays for us.
I was thinking, probably singing "Mountains Are Calling."
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
All right, make sure that you do. And was there anything else that you wanted to cover or drop out to the nice people out there?
Yeah. Well, hate to do this, but my manager says so. But no, just give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok with Rob Wolf Music. One follow goes a long way, especially in today's world.
It really does.
But no, it's fun because also, then, you can keep up on my show schedule when I'm singing, when I'm releasing, and everything like that. But no, and at the end of the day, hopefully you just enjoy my stuff.
Perfect. Yes, take this time. It's just a minor second, but it helps any musician of any level. It really does. Make sure you give the follows and any likes you can if you see it come up. Really appreciate it. Mr. Rob Wolf,
Hey,
thank you
appreciate
again
it.
for taking the time and coming to see us. And we'll see you guys on that next one. Bye.